Okay, we're back. I think we're back now. I think you can probably hear me. We're going to test it out. I don't want a double echo. So we're testing everything out to make sure that it's working. We're testing everything to make sure it's working. We're just going to test everything. I don't know what happened there. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me? I think you can hear me. So we're going to do something here. So we're going to just... so we're going to go here. Yeah, hello, hello, hello. I think you can hear me now. I hope you can hear me now. We're back again. Something happened. I don't know what it was, but I had to just come back out. Sometimes when it starts like that, everything was set. Okay. I hope it's back now. I hope you can hear it. Just checking everything now. Sorry about that. Sometimes these things do happen out of nowhere. So we're trying to make sure that it's working before I go ahead. We're back. Okay, good. Thank you. Thank you for joining me, and I appreciate you. So we are going to just quickly paste the things that we wanted there. We will, please don't forget, support to subscribe to Season on the backup channel. Everything, there's no echo behind now. That was a problem. I couldn't hear myself. So we were really trying to solve that. That was really a distracting issue here. And that we couldn't really progress without sorting that out. So thank you very much, and happy Sunday to you all. The crux of what we're talking about, don't forget to subscribe to the Citizen AY backup channel, which I've pinned on here, because YouTube I've blocked Citizen AY, the main page. So we've created a separate one now, the backup channel, and we want that to be running. So if you join on, as you're joining us, please come back again. Tunde Olatunji, thank you very much. I really appreciate you. I appreciate Owolawa Nuruddin Alani. Thank you. Tunde Olatunji, welcome my brother, long time. Romeo Harry Homies, thank you very much. Oluwaseun Arowolu, Felix Igbiz, El Protera, and 3 others. Welcome to you all. Only for I will mention, and I'll come and mention other people as well as time progresses. So I'm really grateful for your support. The topic that you see on the screen is what we really want to talk about, and I wanted to make sure we bring that to your attention. It's very, very important. Fatima Awesu Latif Mohammed, thank you very much, and 2 others. So please don't forget, go and subscribe to Citizen AY on YouTube. It's been streamed currently on Oduduwa TV Radio 2. We're going to be getting the channel, backup channel, up and running, but it's on there. We try to build it, because the more we use it, the more it can be, we will be able to use the backup channel. So basically, what I really want to say this afternoon is happy Sunday to you all. How was your church? Those of you that went to church, how was church? I hope church went well. Yes, thank you. Tunde Latiji, thank you. So what it is my main course. Now, as you all know, I am very particular about the 1999 Constitution. As you can see on the screen, it shows you that there's a big cross against it, which means it's a fraud, and it remains a fraud. It's important to state that it is a fraud, and it remains a fraud. It remains a fraud, and that is what is being used to. Yeah. This is your calling. Consider enlightenment. A better Nigeria is possible. Well, maybe it depends. It depends on the people. To the Latuji. No, you just came in, John Oguni Mola. Thank you very much, John Oguni Ola. Thank you very much. So what we really want to do is, please, I want to really go into detail now. Let me do this. In fact, I'll see. Basically, we are going to talk about the Constitution. But before we talk about the constitution, I want us to understand that everything that is going on right now, we've talked about people not voting and people voting, and firstly there should be no elections, and then we came to the realization that election was going to take place, and we advised that those who are going to vote, I will do. They don't just click on the notification button. Go ahead and subscribe to Citizen AY Backup channel. So when I'm going live on there, that's when you will see me. Once the backup channel goes live, you will see me. So please subscribe there as well and hit notification button on YouTube and Facebook. So I do try and do my can as much as I can, but YouTube, Facebook are switching off my notifications. So thank you very much. So now, what I'm trying to make us understand is that the Constitution as it stands right now, it's really it's a noose around our neck. But what has been done to us has been that we have been distracted from focusing on that Constitution collectively. So what do I mean by that? Many of you, I asked you how was church today. Many of you will go to church. Many would have gone to the mosque on Friday. And when you go to these places, you will go and pray to Daddy Gio and the Imam to solve the problem. I'm not trying to attack the religion. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm trying to really lay the foundation so we understand what has been done. And we seem to be falling into the same trap over and over and over again. And we have to break that cycle. We keep applying the same solution to the problem that we've faced for 60 years. And what we are trying to do is to retrain our minds. You see, our minds they're like sponges. When you put whatever information you put in is what people will rely on. It's like you're soaking a sponge with water. So if the water is clean, that water is what will come out. If the water is dirty, the dirty water is what will come out. You won't put in dirty water and get clean water when you squeeze the sponge. No, it is what you put in. So it is garbage in, garbage out. And the garbage out is when we now apply religious solutions to constitutional problems. We are applying religious solutions to constitutional problems. Are you getting it? I hope you are following me. Please do share this broadcast. All of us, we are applying religious solutions to constitutional problems. And it will never work. That is what we've been programmed to do. The programs that we're doing, such as I'm doing now, is to wake us up to understand that we need to apply what is necessary to the Constitution. To be able to understand the Constitution and solve the problem, we need to read and understand what is in the Constitution. If you are using the Bible, the Daddy Geos, they tell you pray to God. And the imams will say pray to God. They are not this. God did not create the Constitution for you. The religion has nothing to do with the Constitution. That is really, really important to understand. And I'm hoping that many of us who are here will understand the need for us to separate. We need to separate this religion of Islam and Christianity from the solution. They are not part of the solution. They are confusing our minds. The pastors will come and tell you to come and pray. You would have been praying. Many of you, how many hours have you spent in church today? I can guarantee that many Nigerians, particularly in Nigeria, you would have spent 5 to 6 hours in a church on average, minimum. And that is not even counting the times you would have gone, the travel time to church and the travel time back. I'm just talking about the time you spent in the church. Between 4 to 6 hours. Because you will hear the sermon, you will hear this, the kids will go to Sunday school, all of that. But the Bible is not the problem. The Quran is not the problem. And you will never find the solution for the Constitution in the Bible. You will only find the solution to the constitutional problem within the Constitution. And I'm hoping that by saying and having this kind of discussion, that we wake up. I really want us to wake up and understand that we can solve this problem. But first, we have to be mentally awake first. We have to be mentally awake. And that's what I'm trying to do here. Please subscribe to Citizen AY backup channel on YouTube. I'm hoping that by having this program, leave a comment. Those of you watching us on YouTube on Oduduwa TV Radio 2, I'll explain reasons why I'm doing that at the minute. Because that program, we're trying to build both platforms up. We will be speaking Yoruba on that platform. Rest assured. Don't Emma Esha Musuru Ama so Yoruba lórí ti Oduduwa TV Radio 2 yẹn. But lọ́wọ́lọ́wọ́ tá a wà ń sìn, mo fẹ́ build Oduduwa Citizen AY backup channel yẹn. Wọ́n dọ̀tí fún mi ní clearance yẹn. So I'm using it as a way to get awareness of the Citizen AY backup channel. So please subscribe as you come along. What I want us to really understand is that we have been trained to look somewhere else for the solution that we have. Now let me read to you what I said in the initially in the broadcast initially. So I'll read that to you. So what I said is this: we continue with raising awareness of the fraudulent 1999 Constitution and its impact on our lives and the solution. So we are raising awareness that the Constitution is the problem. That is why the big X is on it. The Constitution, exactly, John Ogunriola. So we are trying to break it down. We're going to be doing this in Yoruba and English. A máa ṣe ní èdè Yorùbá náà ẹ ṣeun gan ni a máa sọ lédè Yorùbá àmọ́ ó ṣe pàtàkì ká kọ́kọ́ sọ lédè èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì torí gbogbo àti Igbo àti Middle Belt àti àtàwa Yorùbá gbogbo wa a gbọ́ èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì yẹn. So ìyẹn la ṣe kọ́kọ́ fẹ́ ní pé ká kọ́kọ́ ṣe lé èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì a máa padà wá ṣe ní èdè Yorùbá a dẹ̀ máa ṣe létòlétò. So ẹ fún wa ní sùúrù díẹ̀ ẹ ṣeun fún ẹkú làkàyè náà mo kí yín múrítà lágbàdà mo sí mo kí ẹ̀yin náà. So now what we are trying to do, but ètò yìí ó máa púpọ̀ nínú nǹkan tá a máa sọ máa wáyé ní èdè Gẹ̀ẹ́sì torí náà ẹ jọ̀ọ́ ẹ fún wa ní ẹ mú sùúrù fún wa a máa padà wá ṣe ní èdè Yorùbá náà a máa ṣe tẹ́ bá ti rí logo Oduduwa TV Radio ó túmọ̀ sí pé à ń ṣe ètò yẹn ní èdè Yorùbá ṣọ́rọ̀ mi yẹn ṣeun. So now going back to the issue now, one of the issues that we face now, millions of people who are on ground in Nigeria now, they will be going to the churches and the mosque praying for deliverance. But the church and the mosque has nothing to do with the Constitution. Nothing to do with it. They have nothing to do with it. The Constitution is the problem. The Bible, it's like you're trying to give somebody has got headache and you're giving them tablets to stop stomach to stop, how can I put it now, to stop I don't know, cancer or whatever. It's not working. We have to apply the right kind of reasoning to solve this problem. So, and we need to spend more of our time focusing on how to solve that problem. The church and the mosque, you can go to the church and mosque, but it's not going to solve this Constitution. Unless we understand what is written in the Constitution and begin to teach our communities how to solve that problem, we can't solve it. The reason I'm talking about this right now, whether or not we like it, whether or not we are for it, that Constitution is what is being used to rule over all of us. And that is very, very important to understand. Yes, believe you me, as many of you know, I am for Yoruba Nation. I want Yoruba Nation tomorrow if possible. Today, yesterday I want it. But it is not going to materialize like that. It isn't. And we have to be very clear about that. That's number one. As much as we want Yoruba Nation, Biafra, Middle Belt, it's not going to materialize because we are still within that construction called Nigeria. And that nation is enslaving us all. But because we are so busy failing to understand that applying religious solutions to a constitutional solution, constitutional problem will never work, because the religion did not write. Those religions did not write the Constitution. They had nothing to do with the Constitution. This was written by men. The Constitution was written by men in our government, in our lifetime. The Bible and the Quran were written by other people, and they are being used to confuse our minds. We need to separate the two. You can be religious if you want to, and that's up to you. But if you are trying to solve the problem of that fraudulent 1999, the solution is to go into it and understand how it was written, and we then use the things within it to bring it down. We can pray all we want. We can pray all we want, unless we take collective action to solve the Constitution by studying it and breaking it down and forcing those in power to know that we know what they've done, and begin the process of ensuring that they carry out a referendum, because we are the people to whom sovereignty belongs. And I'll explain that later on. That is why I'm saying what I'm saying. And I hope it's not long-winded. I'm trying to be very, very clear and specific about what I'm doing here. We need to understand that we cannot wish away Nigeria. Let me say that again. We cannot wish away Nigeria as a nation as it stands. The only thing that will bring about the new nations we want as Yoruba nation or Middle Belt, or even if we're going to stay in one nation, if let's just say that's what they say, and we name it, it will require us studying that constitution. It requires us studying that constitution. Do you know that by the time somebody comes to school to study, they are already indoctrinated in religion? The religion now becomes the most important document in their lives, instead of the constitution being the most important, because the constitution is having a daily impact on your life. Because the religion is there to just train your mind to not question the constitution. Please, I'm not attacking your religion. Please, I'm being very, very careful about what I'm saying. I'm not attacking your religion, but I'm telling you that the government are using it as a tool to control your mind so that you never question them. And that's why I'm saying to you, the problem that we have is a constitutional problem. You cannot apply religious solutions to constitutional problems. You can't. You have to put the religion to one side, study the constitution collectively within our communities, and then begin to empower our people to make the change. I am clear. I'm going for Yoruba nation. I'm very, very clear, and nothing will stop me till my dying days. I am not going to relent on that. But I'm also realistic to know. That right now, as I speak to you, that constitution is having an impact over our lives. Here's how you will know it's impacting our lives. We just had a vote. People just voted in elections now. And many of them, we said, please do not bother voting. But they voted in elections. But they went to the church to listen to the pastors and the imams and said, okay, this is what will happen. Pray that the best man will be selected. The religion has no power over who will be selected. The people who are rigging the elections, they are in government. They are using that constitution. They are not referring to any religion. We need to understand that. We must collectively in all our communities engage in understanding that constitution. That is how we can solve it. That is why I put it here. So you'll be seeing this picture in the back now and then. Let me go back to the issue now. I'm going to see if I can find you. Let's go back here. So I'm going to show you the constitution proper now. So let's go back. I want you to understand something about this constitution. Oh, somebody's calling in. Oh, gosh. Oh, hello, sir. Hello. Hello. 1 second. Let me. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Good afternoon. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Yes. Go ahead. Yes, we can. Yes.
You see, Citizen AY.
Yes.
You are very good on your program. But there are some times that you blame vainly Nigerians. That is, that you blame the public unnecessarily.
I'm not blaming them.
Wait, sir.
Okay.
Let me land.
Okay, go ahead.
I mean, you see, the question is this. The greatest imbroglio
yes.
that the Nigerian government constituted.
Yeah.
I will tell you now what.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this has been since the birth of the country, the unfortunate country we call Nigeria.
Yes. Yes.
The languages,
Yeah.
or the language of the government,
Yes.
is quite different from the language of the governors.
Yes.
Okay. If I'm a Yoruba man, you didn't send me to school, and I can't speak English, neither can I write correct English.
Yes.
How would you, the government that governs me, write the constitution that you want to govern me in your own language, which is English, and not in my own language?
Very good point.
Do you understand me?
Yes.
Sir.
Yes.
You see, we just blame ourselves that when you go to church, you carry Bible. The Bible, that you value Bible or the Quran or the Ifa more than the Constitution. Yes, it will happen because you did not write the Constitution in my language, in what I can understand.
Yes.
If you go to Italy, if you go to Germany,
Indeed.
if you go to Belgium,
Indeed.
if you go to America,
Indeed.
Anywhere, the Constitution is boldly written
In their language.
The street language which everybody can understand. And this is why Europeans, they know their rights.
Yeah.
In the public.
Yes.
They know their right from left.
Yes.
No policeman can harass them because such a person will tell you that, look, the Constitution did not allow you to go beyond what you are trying to go beyond. Do you understand me?
Yes, 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 sir.
But in case of Nigeria, even those people dancing behind all those criminal politicians, including the politicians themselves, how many of them can even tell you a verse or a section of our Constitution? None of them, few of them.
Indeed.
So the question is, let us advocate first for the government to print the Constitution in our languages.
Okay.
Once it is done, everybody will know what is good or what the Constitution says that can protect and guide him. This is our problem. This is
Thank you.
the problem that we are facing. And this is what we have to first of all combat.
Yes. Yes.
Once we are able to win this, then our life will start changing. And that is it.
How do we go about doing that? How would you suggest we do that? Because we're looking for solutions. So this is a good place to start.
It's very, very easy.
Yes.
And I will tell you now. Each zones, Nigeria is divided into 6 geopolitical zones. All right. Each government of all geopolitical zones, it is their right. It is their, it is their competence to now go around and find how they would translate this constitution into the languages of their governors.
There is nothing in the constitution that says that it has to be in a language. So that's a problem, you see. There is nothing within the constitution.
Look, there is no section of that constitution that says you cannot translate it.
No. It didn't.
From that, in the house, 3 languages, you can speak 3 languages. You can speak Hausa, you can speak Igbo, you can speak Yoruba. In the house.
Yes.
You will remember, one of these read, Honorable Kasauri also. He doesn't understand English.
No.
Then he will speak his own language.
Yes.
To bring in what he wants and what his people want. the house. Unlike that Benin boy who will go to the house and start grammar that even his grandfather who cannot understand. Obafia or what is his name? You see,
Yeah.
the question is this. We must push all the states, whatever language that is being spoken there, the constitution should be translated into those languages.
Okay.
And people can easily buy and read.
Okay.
Because the Bible is translated into Yoruba,
yes.
Everybody buys it. Because I know if I read it, it will be clear in my mind what I'm reading. Because it is my language.
Yes.
And an Hausa man will buy it in his own language.
Yes.
And read it and be able to know what actually is happening.
Yes.
But in essence of this, it is a war to continue blaming the public. They are not at fault.
No. Nobody's blaming them at all. We're not.
It is the government who does not translate this constitution and the laws into our language.
Yes.
That does not make us understand both of the constitution and the laws
governing us.
Each tribes. Here is the problem.
Yeah. No, I really like the idea you came up with now in terms of actually getting us to get the government to do it in our language.
May the late of Professor Ebun.
Yes.
Rest in peace.
Amen.
Professor Ebun has always been on this path. She has agitated that look, every tribe should teach or should make his or her own child understand
the constitution.
Understand the language of where he is and where he is being governed. The problem is that because the learning ability of a child starts at the point he is born.
Yes.
With the language the parents speak to him or her. So how will I be a Yoruba man or an Igbo man or an Ibibio man? You are coming with a constitution and you give me that English one. While English is not on my language.
Yes.
English is not it's not anything to me. It's a first language on me.
Yes, it is.
And this is what actually is devouring our education.
Yes.
In Nigeria.
Yeah.
That is it. So please, the way that this constitution will be written.
Yes.
In local
languages, yeah.
Is what we have to prophesy now.
Yeah.
And not blaming our...
No. Okay, thank you very much. We'll talk to you. I'll add to that, Eshiongon. We'll talk again. Thank you more for your suggestion, sir. Thank you so much. Now, so that's a very good point they raised there. Please don't misunderstand me. Don't misunderstand me when I talk about this. What I'm saying is that, you see, oftentimes because we don't know the Constitution, and it's right that it should be in our language, because we don't know the solid Constitution, many of us use the Bible as a way to solve the problem that is a constitutional, that is being created by the Constitution. And of course, it will never work. So what I'm saying, and I've said it there, please don't misunderstand me. I'm not saying you shouldn't go to any church. But if you are trying to solve the problem of a nation, then the solution is first understanding that Constitution and then using and questioning that Constitution based on your knowledge of the Constitution and how you can, that's how you can solve the problem. But up to now, many people, go to the daddy GOs in the church. They will be praying, they pray hours and hours, that, and along by this one, that's praying. But it's not really solving the problem because the problem is still there and it's created by men. So, I quite like the idea of demanding that the Constitution be written in our language and how we can quite go about that under the current situation is another problem in its own. Because as you all saw, the people voted in the elections. But the elections, as we all know, as far as we can tell, it was rigged. So those in government, it is in their own interest to prevent the local people from understanding the laws being used against them. And that is the real problem. So we are trying to encourage, again, that's what I'm saying, whilst there's no harm in us asking the government to print those constitutions in our language. But there is also no problem in all of us now beginning to teach this constitution in our language as well, or the important part of it, to break it down in a way that the people can understand. I hope that makes sense. That is where I'm really trying to go to. The real problem right now is for us, whatever we do in the church and the mosque will not impact the laws that are being imposed on us. So we need to focus on the laws and the constitution that's been imposed on us, including translating it into the languages, our local languages, as much as we can. Now, how many people do we have in Nigeria? 200 million. So in Yoruba land, for example, there are about 50 to 60 million. 60 million people having the constitution in a language. That's a big project. That's not just for one or two people. That's for all of us to do. I'd like to be in a position whereby we can say, okay, we'll get that done and begin to share it. And I did try to do some pages earlier on, but the problem was that by the time we got to the second year of translating the constitution about 2 years ago, we realized that there was no way forward than to try and go for self-determination outright. Now we are in a situation now where they've rigged the elections. The elections have been rigged. People are suffering. So we need to address that issue of having the constitution in our languages. And I agree with you on that basis. We need to have that. But before we even get there, it's going to take if we start sharing that in our language, we need to also explain what it means to them. So if they are reading in their language, it translates into our language, we have to explain the critical parts of it to our people and how they can use it to empower themselves to begin to hold the governors to account for as long as we are in contraption Nigeria. And we need to do that whether we like it or not. I'm for Yoruba Nation. But I know that because of this fraud that's upon us now, the minimum we are going to be in contraption Nigeria is 4 years. Because they have a cycle of 4 years of elections. If we keep saying we ignore that, those laws will continue to be imposed on us. Look at the Central Bank of Nigeria now. The laws of they've been going back and forth. Now they're saying that, the money that you've not been able to spend for the past few months, you can now spend it. So, and all of this is impacting our lives. There is no safety, no security, no water, no light, no health care. So we need to collectively work together on it. And that is why I wanted to bring this idea to us all. That we begin to, within our communities, begin to teach ourselves about this constitution. Whether or not we have it in our language, we endeavor to translate it, those of us that can. It's not a job for myself alone, it's a job for many of us, because we need to explain this to our people. The fraud that it represents. We need to explain it in the language so that our people understand. So I agree with my brother who called earlier on, and thank you for that interjection. Very much interested and welcomed. And we want people to come with suggestions. I've written it down, and we're going to work at how we can do that as a collective. But in the meantime, what I want us to start doing is we should start holding classes within our community where we can explain the Constitution to our people. We should start holding classes. And I want to take this time at this opportunity to ask those of us who are part of this struggle, because we are talking about the Constitution, it doesn't mean we've abandoned the struggle for Yoruba Nation. Please, I hope you understand that. If anything, it is making us understand that to bring the people along, we have to meet them where they are. And where they are now, they are still in Nigeria. We are all still in Nigeria. And the best thing to do is to enlighten them about why they need to break away from contraction Nigeria. That is what I want to really talk about in great depth. I want us to really go to key areas that I want our people to begin to look at. Please, by me going through this constitution, I will try and do section by section. I will try and do it at some point, but I'm not going to go and do that today. I just want to just show you critical parts that our people need to hold on to. And I've done it before, but I want us to really begin to make sure that every community knows that they have something that is important that they can use to hold those in governance to account. So let's go to page 13 on this. But like I said, I don't want to. That doesn't mean that we abandon the idea of having the constitution written in a language. And indeed, maybe we can do a campaign for that. How many of you will support us? How many of you are willing to support this program in setting up something whereby we can start campaigning for the constitution to be translated into Yoruba language, into Igbo language, into all our languages? How many of you are willing to be part of that process and work with that? Because that is really, really important for us to do. It's not just about talking anymore now. It's about taking collective action to awaken our people. Because we've been fooled by the book. Like the man said, they write the stuff in English and our people don't understand English. And that English, they use it to carry all manner of injustice against our people. So, it is really important. Yeah. Well, John Oguniola, yeah, possibly, my brother. But we will never know. And the reason why it came, yeah, possibly. But like I said, I think going forward, we need to really think about how we are going to impress upon the government that are not giving us true reflection of the results on them the need for us to have the constitution in our local languages. Will they listen? How many of you think that the current Nigerian government will listen to our call for Yoruba nation, for the constitution to be in Yoruba language, in our languages? How many of them? How many of you? I don't think they will necessarily listen to us, because that is what they are using to confuse us all. That is one of the tools that they're using. They keep wanting us to have the Bible and the Quran as a place to solve the problem that is being created constitutionally. And we need to understand that. That's what I'm trying to say here. I am not here to blame you for studying. Oh, goodness me. Okay, one second. I'll take this call and somebody else will have to call in. But I'll let my brother answer. Hang on. Hello. Yes.
Hello,
Yes. I can hear you. Go ahead.
The call for the constitution to be written in local languages shouldn't be a problem. And I will tell you why.
Okay.
How.
Okay, how?
You see, in Nigeria of today, there is no tribe that does not have a graduate among that tribe. Every tribe has graduates. Every tribe has people in the House of Assembly, the House of Senate. Every tribe in Nigeria has.
Yes.
It is just a question for each tribe to say, okay, I can make this a translation, and they put him there. He does it on his own. He can even sell it. Anybody can stay in his house, write it,
yeah,
move it to a printing house.
Yeah.
We will go through it properly and see that
it meets the exactly.
And not wrote the right and the correct thing there, and it will be published. Then he will go out and sell it.
Okay, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
When we were young, I'm born and bred on the island of Lagos, and I'm proud of it.
Yes, sir.
You see, Bella then came back from London and he started playing. There was this bar very close to our house. They call it Koriko Bar in Lagos, on Martin Street. That is where Fela sometimes, most of the time, do play. Yes. And he was playing English, it's Yoruba. Nobody recognizes Fela. Even when Fela started his Afrobeat, it was in Yoruba.
Yeah, yes. Yeah, yes.
Not everybody in Nigeria recognize it. But the moment Fela started singing in broken, Hausa can understand broken.
Yes. Yes.
Yoruba can understand broken.
Yes.
Ibibio, everybody.
Yes.
That is the time for Fela made a success.
Yes. Yes, that's true.
And because
Yes.
of what? Because of the language, the broken language that everybody understands. You see,
Benny. 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 It's true. Benny. 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 Yes. Yes.
That is it. So the moment Jerry and the Jendo, the Jobaki print and the Jendo,
no, I draw the no monso yi. I draw me fake draw.
Nigeria, who is capable, who knows it, Oyibo hold down you.
There,
translate it.
That's it.
So they translate it. Don't be full printing house. Printing house, one verify,
one proofread there. Benny.
The moment they are satisfied that what you have rewritten is in conformity with what you are translating, they will print it. You put all your name on it, and you start to sell it.
Yeah. No, it's true.
No,
drew the Benny. Oh no, no, sorry. Exactly. Exactly. They will not. That's correct. That's correct. So that's what I was trying to get at. They will never ever agree to something that they know will weaken their powers. So yes, you would.
And that is it.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you understand me?
Yeah, I understand. Yes.
We have different dictionary by different authors.
Yes, indeed.
And people do buy. If I don't buy that of English dictionary, I will buy Oxford. If I don't buy Oxford, I will buy this, I will buy that. This is the only way we can do. And that is what we can. You see, until now,
that was it. Yes. That's correct. Yes, it is. Yeah. That's true.
Bible in English languages.
Yeah.
Each and everyone who is capable and who is conscious of himself being able to do the translation comes out and do it. The moment one of them tries it and it starts selling, you know how we Nigerians are.
Yes.
Selling oranges in front of your house, and they say that people are buying. In 2 to 3 days, the whole household, they will come out who will trace, put orange. In front of the house.
Yeah.
The moment one Yoruba man comes out and print it, other Yorubas will
follow. Yeah.
From there we will get a very perfect one.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's just encourage each individual
Mm-hmm.
who has the opportunity
Indeed.
to
Indeed.
do it, to translate, get it translated. It doesn't need, it does not need all the money. Where he needs money is when the work is to be complete. And
Yeah.
that is the time he needs all the money.
Yeah.
But if the printing house, if they know it's going to be a best seller, they will do it and send it for him.
Mm-hmm.
Take their own
Court.
days and return his own money
Yeah. Yeah.
to him.
Yeah. That's true. That's true. I mean, it's
How it's been done.
yeah. So we. I mean, it's a good idea. It's a very good idea. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Under 3 months or 4 months, the job
Done.
is completed,
Mm.
and it takes it down to the printing house who
Mhm.
will verify
Yeah, they proofread there. Why to make it all up to date?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And VM is already in the market.
Yeah. Yeah. Very true.
People will buy.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Okay. I mean,
Not
it's
going
it.
to programming.
Ẹ ṣeun, mo dúpẹ́ gan ni. Ẹ ṣeun. So thank you so much. I'm really liking the insistence. Ayomiku, if you want to call in, you're welcome to add to the discussion as well, because we're talking about how we can. Please, those of you talking on the broadcast, please understand we are for Yoruba Nation, but just arguing among ourselves for Yoruba Nation or Biafra Nation and saying we're going, is not going to bring that about. But thinking about the solution to what we have on ground now, this is a good solution now to actually have it in Yoruba language. And I'm going to show you something that I've just done literally a few minutes ago that I've been trying to work out, get in place. That just talks about the very same, provides a kind of a solution to to that language issue, to translate briefly. So I mean, it's loosely translated, but we need somebody who will know, who knows the language properly to do that. I'm not, a language expert, but I have an idea of how it should sound like and what, those kind of things. But we need to be thinking about those kind of things in that way to make our people think, okay, you know what? We have to empower our people through that knowledge and in their own language. So the reason why I talked about this constitution, for example, if you look, I'm going to show you this part of it. The constitution itself needs to be translated in all our languages. But here is the area that I want us to relook at, and I'm going to translate it into Yoruba just in that section alone because of the need of what I'm trying to do. But it's going to be in English first to read it. These are the key areas that our people need to know of right now to empower them. They need to understand that sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government through this constitution derives all its powers and authority. So that includes them. So those of you going to the church and the mosque, more important than anything else, you need to know this. We need you to be aware of this, because when you are aware of it, you can take steps now to now begin to hold those who are coming to say, oh God this or God that. You would begin to understand what is in your language, that no, you are in control. And then the second part is participation by the people in their government. This is the 14.2c. By the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So all of this are things that we need to really bring about. I'm going to show you a quick work I've just done now to give you an idea of what I mean. And we can do, I mean, I'll try. This is not a definitive, please. I want you to, it's not written in stone. And if you know better and you know it should sound much better, and you're a proofreader and you're a Yoruba person, and you can translate it, please let's hear from you, because what we're trying to do is to really prepare things in a particular way to make it be legible and understandable for our people. So what I'm trying to do is, there are sections within each of those that constitution that we need to start talking about in every community. Our communities need to be aware that yes, we want to go for Yoruba Nation. Yes, we want to go for Biafra. Yes, we want to go for Middle Belt. But in order to do that, we need to start using sections within that constitution, the current constitution, to empower us. And yes, translating into our languages is a very important part of the process. So let me give you an example of what I mean now. This is just a rough idea. Please, it's not set in stone. It's just a rough idea in Yoruba, for example. So let me do something quickly here, and you will see come up. So what I'm saying here, please, those of you who are listening to me, I am not criticizing your religion. You are entitled to your religion. Please, I do not want anybody to misunderstand me. But I'm saying that the religion, because we've been so imbibed in religion, we've been programmed to believe that if we go and use this religion to solve the constitutional problem, that's what we've been doing collectively. So we need to break out of that. So will finish Yoruba. So let me just put this down quickly this way. So I'll put it down so you can see what I'm talking about here. So I'll quickly do that. Copy. Document. 1 second, please. Just give me a minute. So do that here. Just once. Okay, do it again. I need to do it again. 1 second, please. Okay. So move this one to the middle. Need 2 more. So move that to the middle here. Okay. So now I'm going to add something more. You'll see come up. So we see what I just read to you now in English. I'm going to put it in Yoruba, just like my brother said. And I'm trying to just a section of it. Just a section of it. So it gives you an idea of what it would look like. It's not written in stone. Isn't to add. It's not written in stone. We need somebody to do, an expert to do that in a way that is, that will be more, that will really help us in getting the message out there. So hang on a minute. So I'm trying to do this now. You will see it come up in a minute. I'm just trying to make sure we get it right. So here we go. So now, so I will do something you will see come up. What I want us to do is to really get our people to start thinking for themselves. And they can only think for themselves if they think in a language. When somebody is thinking for themselves, they are thinking in a language and they can take action themselves. When they're having to wait for somebody to tell them what something means, then they're waiting for somebody to tell them, oh, this is what it sounds like and this is what you should do. So the section I read here, all of this section here, you will see it now. Please bear in mind. You will see all of this section come up in Yoruba. And we can all do it because this is to help our people wake up. It's not about, we can all do this. Let me show you what I mean. Where am I going now? Yeah. 1 second, please. Just give me a minute. So now, please, this is not 100% correct, but it gives you an idea of what it is that is, that's written. So let's have a look at it now. Okay. Okay, now, this is, you see what you see here. Let me go back again. All of this here is what I'm showing you here. I'll make it smaller. Make it smaller. So everything that you see in here is this one here. Section 14. Same thing. But in Yoruba. It's in Yoruba. I've done just a little bit of a translation thing on it to give us an idea. So what we want is our people to have this kind of information. So for example, I'm going to read it in Yoruba. Like I said, I've read it in English. The key ones are the A and C. Sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government, through this constitution, derives all its powers and authority. I'm going to read the Yoruba one. Ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà. Láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin ní ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that is what it's telling you in its entirety. So that's actually not quite right. So let me just check that. I can see there's been some sort of issue here. Let me just make sure I get it right. So that's why I'm being very careful. So let me just, okay, so I need to do this quickly. 1 second, I see what's going on now. 1 second, please. Give me a minute. So we're going to just do this quickly. Okay, so there. Okay, so yeah, so okay, that's correct. So we're just going to quickly redo that one to make sure it doesn't give you a bit of confusion. So okay, good. Okay, now just give me a minute, please. I'm doing this on the fly as I'm talking to you now, because what I wanted to do was to really give us an idea of that this is doable, and all of us should, we should be able to help each other within our community to do this. It's two more. So let me go back again. Okay, so now, so you'll see come up in a minute. I'll bring it up now. So I'll read it to you. The reason I'm saying this is because we cannot free our people unless they know. We can only help them to free themselves. We cannot do it for themselves. We can't do it for them. It's like you cannot take a horse to a water to a watering hole and say drink. They have to drink themselves. You cannot get them to drink. They have to drink themselves. They have to want to drink, and that's the process we're trying to bring about here. So now it says here ó ti wà ní báyìí gẹ́gẹ́ bí ti kéde pé ìjọba tí àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that translates that to back to this thing I've said here at the beginning, which talks about, I'm just trying to show you, sovereignty belongs to the people of Nigeria, from whom the government through this constitution derives all its powers and authority. So you can see it's almost word for word. It's in the Yoruba translation. I'm sure there are Igbo translation of that as well. So the second one, ààbò àti àlàáfíà ènìyàn ni yóò jẹ́ ìdí àkókò ti ìjọba. So ìdí àkọ́kọ́ ti ìjọba. Ìdí àkọ́kọ́. So it shall be the security and the welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of governance. So you can see now we're translating word for word. So we're translating word for word what they're saying. So the second part of it, the third part of it, the participation by the people in the government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So now here, ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn ní ìjọba wọn ni a gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè tí yí orílẹ̀-èdè. So it's talking about that the participation of the people in their government shall be ensured in accordance with the provisions of this constitution. So these are the kind of things that I need us to look at. And of course, I like the idea. We need to work out how we are going to translate all sections, all of the constitution in its entirety in our local languages. But this is a very important piece of the constitution that I would like us to all to actually hold on to. We need to hold on to this, even if it's just printing this alone. I'm going to do something with that where I will do a printout and I'll put it on this broadcast afterwards, whereby people can actually download it. You will see it as a screenshot like this, for Yoruba people to be able to hold that. You see, the A and the C are so important because that's sovereignty. So, ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So the sovereignty is talking about àṣẹ. Sovereignty belongs to you. They get all the powers. Àṣẹ, they get the powers from you by way of the powers that you and authority. Àṣẹ is talking about power and authority right there. So now the sovereignty, is talking about ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin. Exactly. So it's like nípasẹ̀ is like a sovereignty in loose language, and we need to do that as a collective. It doesn't remove from our goal for Yoruba nation. Please don't misunderstand me. It doesn't. But we need to recognize that in doing this, we will need to be part of the process in terms of the political of the politics. So when we start printing documents for people to know the constitution, we are taking part in the governance. And that is what I mean. taking part in awakening our people to switch their minds away from believing that the Bible and the Quran has the solution. It doesn't. This constitution is where they will know they have the powers that they can exercise, and because they are not, it's not been translated in our language, many people do not know that we have the power to actually, to actually break this down. So let me just see. I'm going to speak to my brother Ayomiku. Let me give you a call on here because we've spoken about this. I wanted to hear from you. I've spoken to my other brother twice. I wanted to hear what your thoughts are. If you're able to talk, pick up the call. That's great. If not, I understand. It's short notice. And I just I thought I would be able to just ask your thoughts on it. Or you can call in, my brother. You can call in. You know what the numbers are, and you can just call in and leave your comments on and thoughts on what we've discussed so far, because it is really important as we're going forward that people understand that what is being said here is really impacting all of us, and how we can progress as a group of people. So let me call my brother and see if he's able to call. If you're able to answer the call, my brother, great. I wanted to just see what your thoughts are, because sometimes we can hear from other people as well. He may not be able to answer. If he doesn't, that's fine. But I'm just showing you steps that we can take, because I saw he joined me earlier on. But if he's not able to join me, that's okay. I'll drop the call. I think he's probably busy. I'm going to drop the call. If he's able to call me, he'll call me. But I wonder what your thoughts are. Seeing what you're seeing now, we need our people to know this constitution. So that's what we've just done now. Section 14 is what you're seeing on the screen. Converted it, managed to do the work on it just a little bit, so we can see what that means and what impact it's having on our lives collectively. And I suggest that we can really do more work on this collectively going forward to translate that. These are key areas that we need to know. We need to know that we can take collective action to begin to hold our governance to account. Ika Oguntola, welcome on board. Wale Akisoya, welcome on board. Adaramola Abosede Ibidapo, thank you very much. Welcome on board. So we need that continued support in that area. So that's one area, for example, that we could do. And then we could go to the top of the page and look at the constitution itself and begin to translate word for word. I will endeavor to try something if it's possible. I will endeavor to try it and see what comes out of that. I will endeavor to try it, but we need to understand that in translating it, it doesn't mean that we believe in that fraudulent constitution. No. But we need our people to understand the flaws that we see in it that makes us state categorically that it is a fraudulent document. That way they can join us in the struggle. And that is what I'm trying to hopefully, let me do something. I'm going to do something here. I'm going to do something right here. I want to try and do something. I'm not going to say it. I'm just going to do it. And my Igbo brothers can actually join me. If you want to call in, I'd like to hear from you to see if that makes sense. I may not be correct, absolutely correct, but I'm trying to show you what I think we can do. And it doesn't mean, if you're an Igbo person or Biafran, I'm not saying, please, when I'm saying this, I'm not saying we abandon the struggle. No. But we need our people to understand the flaws within the constitution that we can use to bring it down. That's what I'm trying to do. And we need it in our local languages. So let's go and do this again. Let me do this again. 1 second. So do it here. And then, okay. Okay, 1 second. So my Igbo brothers, you can translate it for me when you see it, because I'm trying to do something here. That this is something that we should be able to do. So now you will see it come up, my brother, and then you can join in that as well. It is going to be in Igbo. I don't know it all, so I wouldn't attempt to say I know it. But I'm just showing you what kind of things we should begin to do within our community, and we need to do that consistently. So I've read the Yoruba version, and I'm going to read the Igbo version. Well, not read it. I'm just going to show you. Those of you, if you can call in, you can call in on +44 179580 and then you can just help us, share it that way. Let me see if I can do something with this one. Um, 1 second. One second, please. Give me a minute. I'm going to try and get that right. Where is it? Okay, don't worry. So I will get that right in a second. Copy. So let's put it up so you can see it coming up. But what I want us to do is to begin to think in that way. I hope that makes some sort of sense. Because we need to use, we cannot just say, oh, we're changing, we're not part of anything anymore, of Nigeria anymore. We can't say that. It doesn't work like that. I wish it did, but it doesn't work like that. You need to be involved in a different way. We need to take collective steps to deal with that issue, in a responsive manner, in a responsible manner, and not give our people false hope that is not going to be there. Okay, see. So now, so you will see it come up in a minute. I'm just trying to give us some idea, some kind of idea of what it would look like. So now, so I just want us to look at it from that point of view. Please bear in mind, it is not right. It's not 100% correct. And I just used Google Translate, to be honest with you. That's what I did. And because I'm trying to make sure that we can begin to look at things and take steps ourselves. But we need people who are experts in that area to make that change, to translate it for us. So don't take my word for it that whatever I wrote down is absolutely correct. It just means it's just to give us an idea of what it would look like. And we need that, in our community. So Igbo translation. So you'll see it come up in a minute. So we need somebody who's an Igbo person to read it. And I'd like to know if it rings true to the real meaning of what you see on the screen, because that's very important. And I wanted to just say that quickly as a side. 1 second, please. Okay. I'm just 1 second. Okay. So just do that here. So give me a minute. But I like the idea of the government doing it, but they will not. I don't think, to be honest, the chances that they're not going to do anything like this. They're not going to do it because it's not in their interest, and they want to keep the people in the dark. That's what we know that's what they're good at. They want to keep the people in the dark, confused, unsure, and our job is to wake our people up. So we'll be doing more and more programs like this. Let me just bring you the next one. I'll fix this as well. Don't worry. I will do it in 1 second. Okay, so just give me a minute, please. I know I recognize that it might be fits and starts, but it's very important to get this right. Igbo translation. So of the Constitution. Yeah. So it's just an idea, and maybe somebody can do that, until we get out of the contraption. This is only until we get out. It doesn't mean that we're staying in. Please, I don't want people to start thinking, oh, Citizen AY is now advocating for Nigeria. I'm not. I'm advocating for our people to be empowered to be able to take collective action to free themselves. So I hope that makes some sort of sense. There we go. So that is the Igbo translation. Again, let me go back again so you will see what I mean. So that's the Igbo translation of the same document. So the reason I'm doing this is, as somebody who's Igbo will know this, and you can translate it for us and make it make sense to Igbo people. So we need more discussions around this. I don't know what your take on it. How do you see this? Please do call in now. You can call in like my brother has called in twice. You can call in and let us know. If you want to read it as you see on the screen, so that it makes sense to people, because I can't read Igbo. I'm not good at I'm not even going to pretend. I'm not even going to try. I'd like to learn the language, I know what's like ndewo, and that kind of thing. Beer, that kind of thing, but very, very minor stuff. So somebody who's an Igbo person, if you want to call in and translate it, keep in mind we need our people to know these things so that they can join us in the struggle. The object of this kind of discussion is to empower them so that they know they can take the steps. So that 14.1, for example, is the same thing you read in here. That 14.1 is the same thing as you're reading here, that talks about the Federal Republic of Nigeria shall be a state based on the principles of democracy and social justice. So, and that's what it says here. So, uku na upuru ochichi. I hope I've said it right. Sorry. Ochichi oko uche ya ikpe ziri ezi nke oha. And then nihi ya nai kuputana. So anyway, I'm struggling. I don't have the intonation. I'm just trying, but I'm trying to get our people to think in that way, if that makes sense. Does that make sense what I'm saying? Let me know if it makes sense to you. Type 1 if it makes sense to you what we're saying. We need to go. And I've seen people who are having discussions about, somebody said this, somebody said that. At this point, we need to be empowering our people. And that's why I'm putting my focus more on the side of empowering our people to know these things about, the Constitution and in their local languages, because that's the only way we can truly free ourselves. I hope is that making some sense? I hope it's making some kind of sense to you as you're watching. I'm grateful for you joining me. Those of you who are on the Oduduwa TV radio as well, thank you very much. I know I know Facebook are playing their games, but this is very important piece of the information. So I'm going to come back and do this in Yoruba language as well, later on. But I wanted to show what is possible with with proper thought process around it. The idea that we are just going to say Yoruba Nation now and we get Yoruba Nation, it's not going to work. It's not going to work like that. The Scottish National Party, they were formed in 1934. The Scottish National Party was formed in 1934, and they did not get the devolution of powers until 2007. Over 70 years. Over 70 years. Yeah? So that tells you until 2007. So 34 to 04, that's 70 years, yeah? Plus 3. So 73 years. Yeah? Before they got the devolution of powers, and they still haven't got independence. So when we are talking about we are going to be independent, and look at Biafra since 59, since 67 to 70, we need to be realistic about what we're trying to achieve here. We are going to remain, whether we like it or not, within contractual Nigeria. But what we need to do is to begin to empower people to engage within that political structure, our people on ground. So the language translation is going to be very, very important. And I want us all to continue to awaken our people. This is a critical step. I'm going to really try and translate this stuff in Yoruba and actually see what it sounds like. And I'll do a program whereby I'll read the translation and I'll see as far as possible to put it side by side so that you can see what it means. And maybe if our people understand it that way, they can be more proactive. Because what we're trying to do is to get our people to think freely for themselves. When you are thinking in your own language, you're thinking freely. When you're having to think in a foreign language, it slows down your process, or you don't understand it. So you misunderstand what it means. And that is what we're trying to hopefully address collectively. I'm going to try and keep this going as much as I can. This is part of what we will need to do, all of us, to really get to the point where we free our people collectively. It takes a lot of dedication, commitment. Let me just ask a question here. So let me I'm going to ask a question. Those of you, I'm going to do a poll on Oduduwa Citizen AY. Would you like to see, yeah, just answer it. Translated to Yoruba. to Yoruba and other languages. To help better understanding for our people. Indigenous people. So I'm going to ask a question here, and I hope you can answer it. So you see it come up. Sorry. I'm just doing this to go along. People. Yes, no. So you will see the question. So the question is, would you like to see the current 1999 Constitution with amendments? Or, I'm just going to put with the current 1999 Constitution as amended. Yeah, I'll put that down there. So as amended. Okay. Translated to Yoruba and other languages for better understanding for our indigenous people. So copy. So save. So that question is there now. You can go online and begin to look at it and answer that question as well. Participate in it. I'm going to post it on the on Citizen AY backup channel as well, so that we want our people to ask questions. We want to prompt them to, this is something to prepare our people so that we begin to take the steps. The people don't understand. Our people don't understand what has been done to them. So, and I would like us more. The reason why I talk about the church and the mosque is that we spend a lot of our time in the church and the mosque. But we need to spend more time within our community to empower us to be able to hold those in government to account by through the understanding of the Constitution. So I'm hoping that makes some sort of sense, in the discussion. Let me see. Is there any way there? No, playlist. Okay, you can't do anything yet. Okay. Please don't forget, as you're watching this broadcast, subscribe to Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. We truly appreciate your support. We know that YouTube is making things difficult somewhat for us, in keeping the numbers down and everything else. But these are critical things that we are asking, pertinent questions. And I'm going to pose that question again on Twitter as well. So go and subscribe to Citizen AY on Twitter. Let's have a look. Short plays channels. No. 1 second. I'm just going to try and I'm trying to get this right. So community. Okay, so I'm going to put it here. So we're going to put something here. Paste. Okay. So okay, I'm going to do this. Okay. Would you like to see option? Okay, just do that. I'll do it quickly. 1 minute. I'm going to just do it on the other platform. So give me a minute, please. I'm just trying to get this right. So with how do you feel about that? We need to be, we need that kind of information on there. So here, open. Okay. Actually, maybe I should just say no, because I want to do yes or no. So, option. Text poll. Yes, no. Yeah. Yes and no. So, just type in yes and no for that question, so it can help us in what we're trying to do. So I'm trying to make it, be interactive in as much as possible, because the situation on ground demands that we do that. Let me see. 1 second, please. So Twitter. We will continue to come back. I will come back and do this program again. I do apologize for the earlier breakup. For some reason it was just echoing and it wouldn't stop. So we need that really to be looked at. From that point of view. So I'm going to put a poll up here, and then, like I said, the poll is not supporting one Nigeria. Please don't misunderstand me. I'm not. But we are asking a question. Should we have it translated so that people can understand? And when people understand, they are likely to make informed decisions, and they will join us in going for self-determination. I really believe that is probably, for me, I strongly believe that is important. So we will be doing more programs about that. I don't know how you feel about that, but we wanted to sort of bring this idea forward to us collectively and to see how we see it. We spend on average 4 to 6 hours or 8 hours or 10 hours in the day in the churches and the mosque. We need to spend that time in studying. At least 80% of the whatever time we're spending in the church and mosque should be spent on understanding, particularly in our communities, about the Constitution. So that's the first part of the discussion. The first part of it was just for people to understand, one, you have the right to sovereignty, as stated. Again, I'm going to bring this up. I'll bring it up. So let me just bring that here. Yeah. So you have the right to, sovereignty belongs to you. Each community, sovereignty belongs to us. So ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So your community is part of the community, all of the communities in which you're giving powers to the federal government to now carry out the government activities on your behalf. So sovereignty belongs to you. Nípasẹ̀, that's the sovereignty, the power that you possess. And that's what we're trying to really get at, to our people, for that you have that power. Now, once you understand you have the power, you now understand the second part. Ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn ní ìjọba wọn ní gbogbo ní a gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè yìí ti yí orílẹ̀-èdè. So that is talking about your participation in governance. So by doing that, ìkópa means participation in Yoruba. Ìkópa, participation in English means ìkópa in Yoruba. So that means that you participate in your own governance. So when you combine sovereignty with participation, sovereignty, àṣẹ, nípasẹ̀, and then and you combine ìkópa, participation, within your governance, you can now, as a community, begin to hold your governance to account. And we'll go into further steps as to how we do that. So I think we need to do that. Please keep in mind, by saying this, we are not stopping the drive towards Yoruba nation. No. But we have to build the minds of the people. We have to wake their minds up first to know what is wrong with the system. When they know what is wrong with the system, they can join. They will be happy to. You won't have to tell them. They will join our struggle for Yoruba nation. They will see that that's the only option. And that is why this education is important. I hope people are finding this, useful. Please don't forget to subscribe to Citizen AY backup channel on YouTube. Help us grow the platform. We truly appreciate your support. It is really, really important, this kind of program. I'm going to try and share it on other platforms as well. I'll reshare it again so that you can see that it's of immense importance. I'm hoping that people can key into it. It's very, very, very important that we continue to raise that awareness within our communities. One of the things that I'm realizing in all of this is that sometimes we do tend to sort of just assume things, but we mustn't. When it comes to this constitution, we have to make sure that people understand that it is the main area that we must focus on. That is how we are going to free our people. If it's for Biafra struggle, our people need to do the constitution. If it's for Yoruba struggle, our people need to understand the constitution. If it's for Middle Belt struggle, we need to first understand the constitution to be able to remove ourselves from it. If we are just saying, yes, we are going for Yoruba nation, without helping our people understand why they are going, they won't support us. And that is what I'm trying to drive at. I hope it is making some kind of sense. I sense it is, but in the middle of all of this, one has to make sure that we are being clear. So please do take part in the poll. The poll is on there, and you can help us share it as well, because it's really, really important. it's important that let me just put that up there, show that. So I want to make sure to show it. So please help us to spread the word about the backup channel, because currently we are being what's the word, we have been tricked by all the lies, and our people don't know what is really happening. So we are asking you to really, 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 really help us in this struggle. Now, if the people speak and they say they still want to be part of it after they take part, of course, then that's a discussion in itself. But what we're talking about is that we need to get to the point where we empower the people to get to the section to be able to say we're going for self-determination, and they would understand why they are going for self-determination. Right now, those of us who are in Yoruba Nation, we are saying we're going for Yoruba Nation because Nigeria is not good, because but they don't understand why. They don't understand why. And this is how we are providing the why to them. When they start reading the Yoruba, the Constitution in their language, and they understand how it's oppressing them. Let me give you an example. I'll translate a section within that Constitution that is oppressive. So we will do this now. I want you to, sorry, not that one. Let me, as we're doing this, we're going to do this live now with me. Do it with me. And I'm going to go and get a section that clearly goes against what we're saying and the things that is terribly wrong with that Constitution. So I think it's number 27. Let me see. Is it 27? So no, yeah. Let me see. Okay. There's a place where you can marry an 18-year-old girl, and that's the one I want to bring, so that you begin to understand why we are going. Yeah, here we go. 27, 29. Now I'm going to translate this. I'm going to translate section 29 for you, so you can see as an example of the areas why we need to leave contraption Nigeria. So you will see this bit, and it will come up in a minute, because these are the kind of things that we need to do. So let me go and show you what I mean. So here we go. Okay, so now we're going to go back here and then do that, and then put it again, paste. So now I want you to just see this now. We're going to translate this section into Yoruba. Maybe our people will understand, because it's that understanding that we are after. This should not be part of our Constitution at all. It should not be part of our Constitution. And by explaining it to the people in greater detail, they can begin to understand why. Why? It's not a question of just saying we're going, but they now understand for themselves why. And they can make decisions themselves based on that. So I'm going to paste it here. So 1 minute, please. So do this. So just bear with me, please. I'm showing really critical parts here that is damaging to the lives of the people. So this is what the Constitution has said. And I'm trying to really help us to reach that clear understanding of why we're going, why we must go. But if we do not explain it like this to the people, they will not understand. And they'll just go, these guys are just troublemakers. They won't understand. So now, okay. So let's look at this now. Tó wà nínú ìwé òfin, ìrẹ́jẹ tó wà nínú ìwé òfin. So we're going to just do this now. I'm just giving you a brief outline, and it will translate it, and you will see it come up. So here we go. So that's the question. The question of the song is how long? How long will I go to suffer? So let me go back. Sorry. So let's do this right. Just give me a minute. We'll get it done. Okay, just give me a minute. We'll get it done. Okay. Okay, so now we're just going to quickly do this now so you can get an idea of what it's like. I don't want you to understand what is being said here. But we're just going to give you a flavor, a quick flavor of what we're seeing. So put that in 24. Now, so now, this section 29 now, there's a bit that I want you to look at, but I'm going to follow, it says the president, for the purpose of subsection of this section, it talks about any citizen of Nigeria of full age who wishes to renounce his Nigerian citizenship shall make a declaration on the prescribed manner of the renunciation. The president shall cause the declaration made under section 1 of this section to be registered. Upon the registration, the person who made this declaration shall cease to be a Nigerian. The president may withhold registration of any declaration made under subsection 1 of this section if the declaration was made during a war in which Nigeria is physically involved, or in his opinion it is otherwise contrary to public policy. For the purposes of this section of this section, full age shall mean 18 years old above. Any woman who is married shall be deemed to be of full age. Sheri Bibai, I'm going to translate it for you now. Now, they're talking about somebody who wants to renounce their citizenship, but they are using it as a way to actually part of the law that is actually quite wrong. Because no 18-year-old should be able to, no 15-year-old should be seen as should be married. And this here says any woman who's married shall be deemed to be of full age. So that is clearly wrong. So let me show you what it means in Yoruba. I'm going to just try and explain that to you now briefly. It just gives you an example of why we need to challenge this. I'm just giving you an example of why we need to challenge it, so that we know why we are doing what we're doing. We're trying to give you reasons why we need to dismantle that contraption. It's a fraud. It's a fraud. For as long as they're not willing to redraw the constitution and to go for a referendum, it remains a fraud that is being used to oppress all of us. So let me go here and then go back here and then do this. Where am I going now? So I'm going to, yes, so 1 minute. So you see it coming up. See it going up. Oh, somebody's calling me, is it? No, okay. So for me, I'm not so much interested in sort of discussing what is going on. We need to focus our energy on the things, how we can empower our people. That is most important to me. How we can empower people to begin to hold the governors to account using the current laws at their disposal. So it is important that we do this in their language. It is very, very important. So here we go. Now, we're going to leave this one for a second. Now, this is section 29. You see? B. Any woman who is married shall be deemed to be of full age. Obìnrin èyíkéyìí tí ó ti níyàwó ni a ó kà sí pé ó ti dàgbà. So I will have to rephrase that one. Obìnrin èyíkéyìí tí ó ti ní ìyàwó ni a ó kà sí pé ó ti dàgbà. So that means that ọjọ́ orí kíkún túmọ̀ sí ọjọ́ orí ọdún méjìdínlógún àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ. Ìtumọ̀ yẹn ni pé obìnrin èkéyìí tí ó ti di ìyàwó, ni ẹ jẹ́ kí n túbọ̀ yẹn kọ fún yín. So màá kàn láti yí yẹn padà, tó ti di ìyàwó, tó ti gbéyàwó, tí ó ti di ìyàwó, tí wọ́n ti sọ di ìyàwó. In fact, sọ di nítorí òun ò ní fẹ́ wọ́n ti sọ di ìyàwó. So I'm rephrasing it. You can see what I'm trying to do here. We need to bring that information to our people, because people don't understand that you can marry a woman less than 18 years old and they will be, because they are married, they are deemed to be 18 years old. So that is something we need to translate to our people in our local languages. So that is what I'm trying to do here. File. Let me just do that again. So I want to be, we need a lot of work. You can see now that I've had to make some changes to this, and it needs close inspection. I'm not so sure it is something that I can do myself, but I can do my level best to a certain extent, and then those who are in the know can actually, of course, take that on. So let me just show you what I mean here. Let me just put that there section. So 29. So you put it there. 1 minute. So you see it come up now. And the reason I'm putting that there is because we need to really understand that if they say in any part of the Constitution that 18 years above, that means that that is a law that somebody, they can look at that. They can look at that on its own and go, within the Constitution, it states that a woman can be somebody who is married, even though they are not 18 years old. They will say it is in the Constitution. That is something we don't want within the Constitution. So let me bring that up again. Let me bring that up. I hope this is making sense as I'm doing this. I'm just giving you an example of areas within the Constitution that is very, very wrong, that we need to really bring to the attention of our people. So here we go. You'll see come up in a minute. I know it's, here we go. So now, I'm going to go back here. So let's go back again, and I'm going to show you the section. Let me just move that up. So now I want you to read this section that I'm reading. So you see now, these two sections I want you to read. Full age means the age of 18 and above. Anytime something like that is written in the Constitution, somebody, particularly in the North, they marry underage. They marry underage. And it says here, Ajo ori kikun. Sorry, ma binu. Ọjọ́ orí kíkún túmọ̀ sí ọjọ́ orí ọdún méjìdínlógún àti jù bẹ́ẹ̀ lọ, which means that being what's the word of it? Full age means the age of 18 and above. Now B says any woman who is married shall be deemed to be of full age. In translation, obìnrin èyíkéyìí tí a ti sọ di ìyàwó ni a ó kà sí pé ó ti dàgbà. So that means that somebody that is less than 18 years old, ọmọ tí ò tí pé ọmọ ọdún méjìlélógún, tó bá ti gbé níyàwó, tipátipá náà dẹ̀ máa ṣe, wọ́n máa kà á kún obìnrin tó ti dàgbà. So these are the kind of things we need to translate to our people. So I'm giving examples of the flaws, the severe flaws within the Constitution that we must translate. So when people see that, they are going to take collective action. They are going to be more willing to take action in that sense, to bring about the change and dismantle this Constitution. I hope that is making some sort of sense as we are talking about this. These are the kind of discussions that I think we need to be having as a collective. I'm not interested in, this one has done, that one has done, because it's not going to get us anywhere. What we need to do is to put information like this, like I just showed you now, live on screen. You just seen clear information of, I've translated into, and I've tried to translate it and make changes to it. So we need to go through each section line by line like this to make people understand that these are the fault areas within the Constitution that we want to completely, and that is driving us to go for Yoruba Nation. And once they can see that there are severe flaws, they are likely to join us in Yoruba Nation and Biafra Nation. I hope that makes some kind of sense. That's what I'm looking at. Let's try one more. Let me try one more, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to actually do a booklet of this now. I'm in I'm in that mood now. I'm going to be doing more of this now, and you will see come up. And I will do a proper section. We will do a proper presentation on this, to give us ideas of what it looks like. We need to do that. We must do that. So now let's go for the next one. I want to show you something else that is quite horrifying. Let me see. I'm trying to see. And also, we can point to this area. This area is something that we need to point to our people as well. This is an area we can point to our people again. I'm just picking sections, So let me see. Section 34. So this one here, section 34. So this is something, because our people are often being treated in a bad manner, and we need them to know these are key things that we want to stop, because people are being treated in a bad manner in our community. So we will teach this community by community, but we will be doing it, I'll read it to you anyway, so you see what I mean. You will see it. You see what I mean when it comes up. So I'm just trying to show you. These are things that I want us to really consider. I hope this makes sense to you as you originate. So I'm just gonna go and give you this one here. I want to try this one in again in Yoruba. I'm going to translate it again in Yoruba because I want us to begin to get those kind of things to tell our people. Because when you do that, now very important point here that I'm going to translate out, because a lot of people don't understand that. People don't understand that we have to be respectful, and this is very important because of the way we treat ourselves in our communities. And sometimes when they read that in their language, it makes better sense. Many people will not even know that what I'm about to put out now is even in our constitution. They won't know. And we need to bring this kind of thing to our attention. So let me show you what I mean. Exactly. This is a very, very powerful instance of why this is such an important thing for us to do from here on. And I can't overemphasize the need for us to really go on this drive and begin to change that thought process of many, in how we treat ourselves. Because people have this illusion that, I can do things and not knowing. And often people are not aware that there is a constitution that actually prevents that kind of thing from happening. 1, 2, 2, B, 2, 1, C. Okay. Let me see. B, C. Just a minute. I'm just trying to get this right. 2. A. So just give me a minute. I'm just trying to get it as much as possible in there so it makes sense when you see it. Sometimes C, D. So just give me a minute. We're trying to just get as much of this information so that people can actually see it. And it is important. The words in there, many people don't understand. This speaks to how the bad treatment that we treat each other in our community. And we need to wake people up from that point of view. So if they see it in the book, people will know this is what the law says, and they will not go against it. And they would actually stand for it. They will stand up for it, So here we go. And people will understand. And it actually awakens our thinking. So I'm going to try and do that again. All the while, keep in mind, all I'm doing here is to try and raise the level of consciousness, Section 34. Yeah. So put it on there. We'll come back and I will put it all together at some point. I'm just giving you ideas as to how this works, So we're going to try and do bits of it like this so you can see what it is. Bold. Okay. So that way we can begin to question things and encourage our people to question those they put in governance. It is your right to question them. You have every right to question them because they are working on your behalf, And the quicker we can do that, the quicker we can actually, So let me see. So, òfin kẹrìnlélọ́gbọ̀n. Òfin nínú ìwé òfin, let me see, òfin kẹrìnlélọ́gbọ̀n. Ìkẹrìnlélọ́gbọ̀n. Nínú ìwé òfin. So I'm just going to put it out, ìwé òfin. So I'm translating it as I go along as best as I can. Ìwé òfin. Okay? So just to give us an idea, and then you will see it come up. I'm even putting it in our language so people can read it. So you will know that it's number 34 of the 1999 Constitution. Òfin kẹrìnlélọ́gbọ̀n nínú ìwé òfin. So you know it's section 34 of the Constitution, the laws. So now we're gonna look. Let me look into this one a little bit more. See if I need to make some changes to it. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what's going on. Okay, let me put this one down one more time. Will you do that? Yeah, okay, maybe it might work. I may have to make it smaller. Give me a minute, please. I think I have to make it slightly smaller to fit in. So bear with me. I'm doing this on the fly. So because these are kind of things that I like to sort of think. We have to think on our feet very much about and how we can get about making people know those things. So Okay. Okay. So let's do this one. Okay. Now. Okay. 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 Right. Okay. I think we got everything in here. So we'll just get that up and I'll show you the section 34 again. This section 34 is going to be in English, in Yoruba, and I'm translating it. Again, to wake up the awareness. It's very, very important that we can see it. So I'm showing you what can be done and how, importantly, how we can do it. So I'm going to do a program on that. Actually, I might even do it tomorrow, as early as tomorrow, depending on how things are. I might do a program in Yoruba. So be expecting that program to come about because it is very important that we go back to the drawing board. Please keep in mind, everything I'm saying here is not in support of Nigeria. It's to make our people know the laws as it currently stands in Nigeria. And it's to awaken our people enough to be able to join us in the struggle for independence. That's the kind of thing we need to do. I think we need to focus our energy on the things that can waken our people up, rather than focus on what this one person said, that one person said. We're not going to get anywhere with that. Oh, this one has done this. We're not really moving forward in the struggle. And we need to move forward within the struggle. So this is what I'm trying to do here. I hope this makes some sort of sense. Let me go file. So let me just put it here. And then, how can I put it again? I need to, beg your pardon. I'm just trying to, give me a minute. So here we go. Okay. So we're going to see what is going on. We need to really make the change here. So, okay. Now I have to thank my brother, Mr. Ogumola, I think it is, for the work, for asking and everything else, and it led us in the right direction, because I was trying to talk about the Constitution and the need for people to understand, and I was, talk about translation. So we've gone to that. It's by discussing like this that things like this happen, and we need to take on such ideas and push it forward as well. Okay, so now we're gonna put that here. So okay, so we're gonna put that up here, and you will see it come up again. And I want to read this to you for our people in our local language. I'll come back and do it in a bit more in-depth detail, but I'm just giving an example of all the while what we can do within our community to empower us. So now you can see that now. Let's put that. No, let me do it again. Sorry. So you're gonna see it now. So just bear with us as I move this one. Yeah, okay. Òfin kẹrìnlélọ́gbọ̀n nínú ìwé òfin. Now, this is the one here. It says here, olúkúlùkù ni ó ní ẹ̀tọ́ sí ìbọ̀wọ̀ fún iyì ènìyàn rẹ̀ àti ní ìbámu sí. Kò sí ènìyàn kan tí ó wà lábẹ́ ìjìyà tàbí sí ìrẹ́jẹ ènìyàn tàbí ìtìjú. Ẹnikẹ́ni kò gbọ́dọ̀ dìmọ́ sí ìsìnrú tàbí ẹrú, àti kò sí ènìyàn tí yóò béèrè láti ṣe iṣẹ́ tipátipá fún àwọn ìdí pàtàkì, àwọn ìdí tí apá kan yìí fi pa tàbí iṣẹ́ ṣíṣe dandan kò pẹ̀lú èyíkéyìí iṣẹ́ tí ó nílò nítorí àbájáde ti gbólóhùn tàbí àṣẹ ti ilé ẹjọ́. Èyíkéyìí iṣẹ́ tí a béèrè lọ́wọ́ àwọn ọmọ ẹgbẹ́ ti ológun ti Federation tàbí ọlọ́pàá Nàìjíríà ní ìlépa ti àwọn iṣẹ́ wọn gẹ́gẹ́ bí. So the A1 is the one I want you to look at, focus on. No person, and this is what we need to teach in our language. No person shall be subject to torture or inhuman or degrading treatment. So if you translate it, A, kò sí ènìyàn kan tí ó wà lábẹ́ ìjìyà tàbí sí ìrẹ́jẹ ènìyàn tàbí ìtìjú. So no person shall be subject to torture or to inhuman or degrading treatment. No person shall be, so B, no person shall be held in slavery or servitude. So B yẹn, let's see. Ẹnikẹ́ni kò gbọ́dọ̀ dìmọ́ sí ìsìnrú tàbí ẹrú. àti kò sí ènìyàn tí yóò bẹ̀rẹ̀ láti ṣe iṣẹ́ tipátipá. No person shall be required to perform forced or compulsory labor. So those are, for example, those are key things that people need to understand in our local languages. So when they know this kind of rule, when somebody comes in the area and say you're going to do this, they know their rights. And those are the kind of things that I want us to really wake our people up in. You know, it's very, very important, these key steps. So I'm just translating loosely, but I'm going to come and do this in more depth. I'm going to do the constitution in more depth, and hopefully those who are going to be in the know, we can translate it and proofread it much, much better. But for now, it just gives you an idea of where we're going in terms of the thought process. I hope that's making some sort of sense as we are going through this discussion today, because it's important that our people understand those key things. Do leave comments if this makes sense to you, if it resonates with you. It's very, very important that you know, and like I said, Ayumiku said, if local people living deep in the village read the constitution in his local language, the revolution that revolution and breakup of Nigeria will happen in no time. I absolutely believe that, and that is what they don't want us to do. Of course, they want to keep us in. That's why they're giving them the Bible in the local languages, but the constitution is not in the local language. A very important point to make. The Quran is in the local language, but the constitution is not in the local language. Why is that? They don't want them to know the rules that they're being used to govern them. So we need to do a lot of work. Those of us who are going for Yoruba Nation and Biafra Nation and Middle Belt, we need to engage in this side. We have to invest our time, our money into raising the awareness, because like I said, what we're doing right now is trying to teach people, try to feed people with knowledge. No, we need to empower them to be able to use that knowledge, you know, so they become fishermen themselves. They start asking questions themselves. When we get that knowledge to them to such an extent that they now say, okay, we want to feed ourselves, they start searching for that information. So that is what this is about. I mean, I could do so much more, but I'm going to carry on with what I'm doing now in terms of the work. You'll be seeing something I'll be doing that in specifically Yoruba translation. But I want us to always hold on to two things. There's two things from this broadcast today that I want us to hold on to. Number one, you have the right to sovereignty is your right as a local community. As a community, you all have the power of sovereignty. And number two, participation in your government. You have the power to participate. Ashe, Nipashe, and Ikopa nínú òfin. So those two, you need to combine those two, sovereignty and participation in governance. Every community must take part in that. We need to begin to teach that and begin to explain to their people this section 34 now. It tells people in the local language, no person shall be subject to torture or inhuman or degrading treatment. So anytime you see a policeman beating somebody up, you can tell them, look, section 34 states that you do not beat up anybody. You do not, this is awareness. This is proper awareness within our communities. And it would actually change the way people think about things and begin to be more, involved in it, So that is where I think we need to focus our energy in this struggle. And now, those of you that still believe in one Nigeria, fine if you do. But one Nigeria is leaving us in the mess that we're in. The election is a fraud. We all know that. There's no point in arguing with that constitution. There's no point. That constitution is an imposition. That election. The election is a fraud. The president, they select who they want. This is proof that our election is meaningless. They select who they want. They select who they want on that basis alone. That is why they are refusing to release the Beavers records. That's why because that record will be vastly different from what they put in and say the people voted. They even change your vote and said you vote for somebody else when you didn't vote for that person. They've seen videos where they scrubbed out names of the people and who they voted for and put something else there. These are the kind of things we need to bring to our people to raise the level of consciousness within our community. I hope this is making some sense to you all also. Please do share this broadcast. I know the earlier broadcast was an issue, but please don't forget, as you're watching, go down to Citizen AY Backup channel and subscribe to us there. Help us grow the platform. It is on the screen. It is pinned. It is going across the screen as you're seeing it. And we're trying to raise that level of awareness within our community. Because what we need to do in the end is to really help us to really reach more and more people. So you've seen the HPS for the www Citizen AY YouTube Citizen AY backup channel. It isn't there. You can screen grab that if you want, or you can it's pinned down. Help us reach more people. It is really, really, really important. Like I said, we were going to continue with the work of this constitution, not because we believe in one Nigeria. Let's be very, very clear. I don't believe in one Nigeria, but because we need the people of one Nigeria to see the constitution that is being used to oppress them in their own languages. Once they see it, they can take action to free themselves by joining us in the struggle for Biafra, for Yoruba Nation and Middle Belt. They will join us in the struggle. That is what I'm trying to say. How many of us, instead of us having squabbles about this one said, that one said, that's the people are the ones who will decide this. The people are the ones who will decide this. And I want us all to please, look at the things I talked about. I talked about 3 different things in the constitution, for example, that is in Yoruba. So I'm going to show you this one. Let me bring that one up. Let me bring that one up here. So, those ones here in the constitution, there's a fraud. So a man can marry a child, 7-year-old child. Obìnrin èyíkéyìí tí ó ti di ìyàwó. No, not that one. I don't want that one. Sorry, let me change it. Let me just get that one now. This is it, isn't it? No, sorry, I'll get it right. Let me just get it. I'm trying to find it now. Okay, it's gone. Anyway, I'll bring it back. So this is the Igbo translation as well. But I'll show you one more. Let me show you one more. We'll try and get that one there. This is perhaps the most important one, number 14. Let me go to number 14 and show you before I wrap up here. I hope you find this of use. We'll be coming back in Yoruba and do this in Yoruba as well. We will do. You can see 14. It talks about, so 14.2a, ìjọba jẹ́ ti àwọn ènìyàn Nàìjíríà láti ọ̀dọ̀ ẹni tí ìjọba nípasẹ̀ òfin yìí ń gba gbogbo agbára àti àṣẹ rẹ̀. So that's B, you can see that. And then C, the participation of the people in the governance. Ìkópa nípasẹ̀ àwọn ènìyàn ìjọba ní ìjọba wọn ní ìjọba wọn ní a gbọ́dọ̀ rí dájú ní ìbámu pẹ̀lú àwọn ìpèsè ti orílẹ̀-èdè. So that means that they are given the power to participate in their own governance. I hope you're finding this of use. Thank you very much for watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. We're going to continue this process and continue to translate like this because it's very, very important. So I hope you find this very, very important and important for us to get forward into going for going forward into freeing ourselves. It's part of the work that we must do. It's part of the work that we must do. We must do this work to empower our people. So I hope you find this beneficial. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Don't forget to subscribe to Citizen AY backup channel. It's all pinned on the screen. It's pinned. It's on the screen, and it's on YouTube. Help us grow the platform so we can have more information. I'll be back later on to discuss more about the Constitution. But the thing that we need to do is that it's empowering our people about their local constitution in their local languages, and spending less time. If you're spending 100% of your time in church, please cut it down to 20% of your time in church and 80% of the time in your local community, thinking of how to hold those who are in governance, who are working on your behalf, to account. Hold them to account using section 14.2c, A and C. That one, you can use that to combine that to hold them to account to get what you need until you get to the point whereby you can go for self-determination. You instruct them that you want self-determination, and they will put the referendum on the table. That's what I'm hoping that we can do. So thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on and give further updates. And it's likely that I'll be doing this program again to raise the level of our awareness. Again, please keep in mind, it's not to say that I'm supporting one Nigeria. Please, let's be very, very clear, but I'm not. But the people who are on ground, they believe in Nigeria. And we have to show them the failings of the constitution that is oppressing them right now, for them to come and join us in the struggle for Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, Middle Belt, and so on. We need that awareness within our community. And it has to be done in the local languages. And that is what we're saying. So the local language is the key to unlocking many of the things that's going on. Don't forget, the Bible is in local language. The Quran is in local language. But the Constitution is not in local language. because they don't want them to know what is in the constitution. Our job is to make them know it via the local language. So thank you so much for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on to give you more updates. Thank you for watching. Hope you found this beneficial. Please do share this broadcast. Don't forget to go to Citizen AY on the backup channel, Citizen AY backup channel. Subscribe to it on YouTube. YouTube have blocked Citizen AY for 3 months now on the main channel because suddenly they said they had an infringement that was all the way back in 2020. That could have been resolved, and suddenly they brought it up now, and they said, "Oh," and they just blocked me, and they not. I can't post anything, I can't do anything for 3 months from now until May 2023. So in that case, for us to be able to have the continuation of the discussions and the awareness, we have a backup channel that please would really like you to go and help us support and grow. So if you get this message, subscribe to Citizen AY backup channel, help us grow the platform, and we'll be doing more show discussions like this and bringing in the awareness to our people. And of course, Oduduwa TV Radio will be doing the Yoruba version of this discussion as well, to explain to our people the meaning of the constitution. That way they can be on side with us to go for Yoruba nation. If they know it, they might not even accept the 5,000 naira from the people who are giving them 5,000 naira now, because they will understand that to accept it is to continue to allow the fraud called the 1999 constitution to oppress them. So that is very, very important. And I want to thank many of you who've contributed to the discussions via what you've written on the screen, and those who called in. Great for the insight and thought process behind it, and we continue to go forward. Our ultimate goal is, of course, to achieve Yoruba nation. But like I said, Scotland, they did not get the devolution of powers until 73 years after they formed the Scottish National Party. The Scottish National Party was formed in 1934, and they got the devolution of powers in 2007 by one vote. The Scottish National Party became the largest party in the Scottish Parliament by one vote in 2007. So that means that we need to be engaged in the political sphere in contemporary Nigeria to be able to achieve our ultimate goal of Yoruba nation or Biafra nation. We have to think in long terms. If it happens in short term, fine. But if it doesn't, we need to be thinking. We have to have a roadmap. We need a roadmap from where we are now to get to Yoruba nation. We can't just get there by just talking. We need a roadmap to get there. And these are the kind of things we need to. By making our people aware, we are creating a roadmap. So they know the failings of the constitution and the system they're currently in, and they will know that that is why they're leaving and going for Yoruba nation. It is not good enough to just say we're going for Yoruba nation, but not give them a clear understanding of the failings within the constitution. We need to do that collectively. That is what I'm talking about. And for Biafrans and for Middle Belt, likewise, we need to do that. I know people will say, oh, no, just forget. No, they don't understand. If people understand that, they will spend more time within learning and studying this constitution and using it to hold those who are in government to account and going for Yoruba nation. Because then every community will be doing the same thing. Right now, they are still focused on going to church and the mosque to seek solution. That is not the solution. The solution is understanding the constitution and in their own language. I hope that makes sense. You're watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this useful. If you do, share. Of course, share this broadcast. I'll be back later on and give further updates. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. Don't forget, the song, before I go, I will play that song again if I can, if it's still there. I want you to have that song. It's very important. Keep an eye. We need to. That knowledge is important. The song has got a lot of powerful words in it, and we are trying to explain that to our people and hopefully to wake up their minds using our local languages. It's very, very important. Here we go. So let me just show you the song, and you hear it, and we can then wrap up that way. So there we go. So thank you very much for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. But before we go, let us get the song up and running. So 1 second. Listen to the words of the song, and also you can download the song on iTunes and Spotify. Download the song on iTunes and Spotify. Is available there, less than £1 or thereabouts, or less than $1, something like that. So just download it, and share it within your community. We need to raise the level of awareness. So here we go. Have a listen.
My people, I throw it salute. Hey, hey. Make it like hell. Determination. How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this off? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this off? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this off? How long? Constitution for your head, yo. Abdul Salam na fake man. Na military man can't tell you na say una get constitution. No be lie, na lie, oh, na fake, na fraud, oh. That yeah constitution. Na him that they claim close to na high, oh. Make una wake up, make una wake up, oh. How long? Now the solution, now be the solution. Make una wake up, make una wake up. Time down knock, bagam, Yoruba man, you be Biafran. I want make una know say self-determination, now your right you. How long? How long? How long? How long gonna go this off? How long? Go no be Nigeria. La 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 la. Oh.
Ah, sorry about that. I forgot. I was talking away. Thank you very much for watching Citizen A, the platform where we speak truth to power. Before I go, please, you can download that song from iTunes and Spotify. Go ahead and download it at iTunes and Spotify. Help us reach more people. This broadcast, I hope you found it useful. The key and the objective is to begin to translate this the constitution in our local languages, and I'm going to endeavor to do that. I'm actually going to do a lot of work on that to help our people to raise Ayo Abbas. Thank you very much, my brother. Welcome on board. We're about to wrap up. You can play this particular version all the way, go to the beginning and listen to it. We've been talking about how we're going to raise the awareness in our community to free our people from from the bondage that we're in. The people need to understand why they are leaving contractual Nigeria, why they want to leave contractual Nigeria. And the reasons to leave contractual Nigeria are contained within the 1999 Constitution. The reasons why we are encouraging our people to understand that Constitution is once they know what is in it, they will join us in the struggle for going for Yoruba Nation, Middle Belt, Biafra. And that is why we're encouraging ourselves, us to translate this Constitution in our local languages. We are going to begin that process in earnest on Citizen AY and on the Dudua TV radio. We will be doing that. It may not be absolutely 100% in terms of translation, but it will give us a rough idea of what the Constitution says and the glaring failures of the Constitution and why we need to go for self-determination. So, and that's the objective of what we're trying to do. And I'm hoping that that will wake our people up. We'll even start with the key document, which is the decree itself. That is where we're going to start the work. So believe you me, that's going to wake our people up. So once they see all of that, they will see that there is a need for us to change things. So I'm hoping that you will join us in that struggle. Thank you for watching. You've been watching Citizen AY, the platform where we speak truth to power. I'll be back later on. Please, like I said, don't forget this tune. You can get it on iTunes and Spotify. Download it and share it and reach more people. The struggle has just begun. Nigeria, I told you, we said it. Whether or not you vote, your vote does not count. It's a selection. Your vote does not count. It's only a purely it's a selection process. That's all. It's a selection process. Our voting has just been, it's just a waste of our time, and we need to make sure that we're aware of it and making sure that the next time that we prepare ourselves to be able to go for the point whereby we're focusing on holding them to account by way of a referendum. Referendum is indeed the only solution to the problem on ground. But thank you for watching. Please do share this podcast. Let's reach more and more people. I hope you found this information useful. We'll be coming up with more updates in terms of the Constitution and the documents around it in local languages. That way our people can read themselves and know why they are encouraged to go for Yoruba Nation, as that's the only solution. Yoruba Nation, Biafra Nation, and Middle Belt. That is indeed the only solution. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be back later on. You've been watching Citizen AY, the backup channel on YouTube. Don't forget, go ahead and subscribe there, and of course join us on Facebook, and whatever you can do to help us, we greatly appreciate. But the best way you can help, of course, is if you can download the tune How Long Am I Going to Suffer. It's on Spotify and on iTunes. Thank you for watching. I'll be back later on. Bye for now. Thank you. Bye for now. ẹ̀yin tí ẹ wà lórí Odùduwà TV Radio mo kí n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí Odùduwà TV Radio mo kí n lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí ẹ ṣeun ẹ máa tún padà wá pẹ̀lú ètò láìpẹ́ yìí mo kàn ní àníkà kọ́kọ́ ṣe léyìn náà ni so lórí ọ̀rọ̀ ìtumọ̀ ìwé òfin ilẹ̀ wa a máa ṣe ní Yorùbá lẹ́kùnrẹ́rẹ́ ó máa wáyé pẹ̀sẹ̀ ẹ ṣeun ó dìgbà kan náà season by ló ń kí n lọ́ọ́ ti Odùduwà TV Radio 2 àti season 9 kò ní sí wa kò ní